Yes, welcome, dear listener. Today, we turn our attention to the arresting and unvarnished tapestry that is Inpatient by REN and Chris Webby. As we embark upon this analytical odyssey together, I invite you gently, yet earnestly, to lend your thoughts in the comments below. And should this exploration stir something ineffable within you, do consider offering your support through a like, a share, or by subscribing to the channel. All of it helps. I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers. I am hoping, if I am worthy, that you can help me get there. And for those who wish to sustain this ever-growing sanctuary of sound and story, you'll find avenues of support through Patreon, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, Super Thanks, and YouTube channel memberships awaiting you in the description below. Certain platforms have distinct perks and benefits. You can also follow me on social media. There is a Facebook page as well as my Instagram. The links for those are in the description below. Now, without further bloody ado, let's dive straight into it, shall we? Okay, here we go. Inpatient, REN and Chris Webby. It's got down the road in the title. Is that an alternate name for this? No, that can't be it. Okay, I don't know what that's about, but please let me know in the comment section. Anyway, let's dive straight into it.
I took my possession.
Oh, that's a start.
All that I own. Set out at nighttime.
This is different.
Down the road.
And he's singing, which I love.
And with God is my witness.
Oh.
There's to the man.
False fold control.
Dressed in the shadows.
Okay.
With blood on his face.
Sorry for pausing so soon, but I was not expecting that at all. Oh, I always want REN to sing more because I feel like a lot of people don't give him enough credit for how good of a singer he is. He really is in that 1% of vocalists out there. And I mean, we know he's the GOAT of rapping. That's my opinion, but I genuinely believe that. But that bit of singing. Oh, okay. Let me just explain what he's doing vocally anatomically. First things first, REN's opening vocal. That is an exquisitely feral instrument. It's just rasped and burnished by what we in vocal pedagogy recognize as controlled distortion. It's a delicate coalescence of the true vocal folds with the ventricular folds above them, allowing that graveled scream to bloom without surrendering pitch or placement. It's a kind of beautifully managed chaos that lends his tone both serrated edge and emotional veracity. And all of this is unfolding within the brooding architecture of, I think I heard F sharp minor, and the timing signature is in 4, and it's dressed in a jazz-tinged harmonic palette that feels at once urbane and unsettled, as though the song itself were pacing a dimly lit corridor of the psyche, while that recurring choral murmur down the road acts almost as a spectral Greek chorus in a way, echoing his thoughts back to him with hypnotic insistence. And there's a motif that lingers like an unresolved question in the air. I think in essence, we are witnessing a masterful interplay of visceral vocal technique, moody harmonic design, and haunting repetition, all conspiring to draw us deeper into a sonic landscape where anguish, artistry, and atmosphere walk hand in hand down that same inescapable road. Okay, again, so excited by this. This is better than I could ever have hoped it would be. So let's continue onward. Like the design of the graphics for this music video.
With blood on his face.
Oh, who's that? Okay, we're rapping now.
A certain kind of aura pouring all around
Nice
me.
cadence.
Looking fresh to death, his suit, it was
Oh,
astounding.
very fast.
I caught his eye and then I felt like I was drowning.
Oh,
Standing at a crossroad and the dull glow of the lit
Crossroads,
road.
okay.
Took it silently, quietly tiptoed on the long road, and the man spoke to me quite excitedly. Hello, dear friend.
Oh,
Then he tipped his
are you a
hat and he
devil?
smiled invitingly. Who knows why you felt this, but I felt like someone lit a fire in me.
Okay. See, the lyrics were going... Ren was spitting fairly quickly there, so I'm going to pause a little bit sooner than I usually do because those were a lot of lyrics to digest and I just want to make sure I get this right. So, yeah, let's take a look. Whew, this song is... It's one of his best because what I'm encountering here is not merely narrative but allegory draped in nocturnal finery. Ren casts himself as a pilgrim unburdening his worldly weight, the down the road becoming a mantra of inevitability and incantation of fate, until he arrives at that most ancient of symbolic theaters, the crossroads, where choice and consequence entwine. And there, in the chiaroscuro of flickering light, stands a figure at once alluring and disquieting, a man whose elegance is too pristine, whose aura is too knowing, whose bloodstained hands betray the cost of whatever covenant he represents, be it temptation, inner darkness, or the seductive pull of self-destruction. Yet, what is most arresting is not fear, but recognition, that uncanny familiarity suggesting that this figure may not be other at all, but a projection of the self. The shadow made manifest, inviting him forward with a smile that kindles both dread and desire, as though the very act of meeting him ignites something dormant and dangerous within. And again, this passage as a haunting parable of confrontation, of standing face to face with one's own abyss and feeling with terrifying clarity the spark that urges you to step closer rather than turn away. Okay. This is a hell of a song. Okay, here we go. Yeah, all right.
And he tipped his hat and he smiled invitingly. Who knows why you felt this, but I felt like someone lit a fire in me. And I felt my stomach turning, I turned and I tried to find the words inconcerned and the feeling disconcerting. It's strange, but I felt this weird yearning, a craving for something that was urging me over. And then to start conversing, I reached out my hand, he shook it during. He leaned in and said something disturbing.
It went even faster. Okay, all right. Let's dive into those lyrics. Ah, he's so good. Now, this moment unfolds like a slow, inexorable tightening of the soul's own snare. Ren renders this encounter not as a clash, but as a seduction. Something internal igniting. That burn that he mentions is not merely psychological, but primal, as though the body itself recognizes a forbidden invitation before the mind can protest. The churning stomach that he mentions, the fumbling of language, all speak to that deeply human dissonance when instinct and intellect fall into discord. Yet, what is most disquieting is the yearning. It's a gravitational pull toward the very thing that unsettles him, suggesting that this shadowed figure does not impose, but rather awakens a latent hunger already residing within him. And when their hands meet, that ancient gesture of agreement, of covenant, it feels less like a choice made and more like a fate fulfilled, culminating in that whispered disturbance, a sentence we do not hear yet feel reverberate, as though it names a truth too dangerous to articulate out aloud, if that makes sense. Okay, let's continue onward. I'm sorry for pausing so much, but the lyrics are very, very heavy. There's a lot of depth to them. So I just want to make sure I serve this song well. Let's keep going.
Conversing, I reached out my hand, he shook it during. He leaned in and said something disturbing. All I gotta know is your desires. Is it fame or fortune you aspire to get up out
Okay,
the
so that's Chris Webby.
Follow me, I'll walk you through the fire.
Sounds like
I got
Kendrick
every type
Lamar.
of flavor in. You should see the budget of the catering. I don't wanna come off as a salesman, but I got the taste that you've been savoring. Let your pain go, let the flames grow. I'll read every thought that's on your mind, cause I know you got a name, so why don't you just
And that's how he
write it
gets
on
you.
this line? Here I got a pen and everything. Who needs a wedding ring? I offer the divine. I don't think you fully understand, but I promise that you will in time, so just make a choice.
See, now that's how he gets you. Interesting archetypal character. I'm devilish, malevolent. A lot to unpack, so let's take a look at those lyrics. And Chris Webby, nice rap cadence, good tone as well. Okay, so that's Chris Webby. The shadow now finds its voice, and what a voice it is. Velvet, slick, disarmingly genial, yet laced with the quiet tyranny of persuasion. This is no longer mere presence, but proposition. A diabolically eloquent pitch that cloaks domination in the language of desire, offering fame, fortune, escape, as though salvation itself were a product neatly packaged and waiting upon his signature. And notice how he dismantles resistance, not through force, but through intimacy, claiming knowledge of the mind, the pain, the latent ambition, until we as the listeners feel not coerced, but understood, and thus fatally willing, while the imagery of pen, line, and even the grotesque parody of a wedding ring elevates this from contract to covenant, a binding not just of career, but of identity and soul, where devotion is exchanged for deliverance. And so the crossroads becomes a boardroom, the devil a deal maker, and the fire not merely something to fear, but something one is invited, almost seduced actually, to walk through willingly. So to sum this section up, I would say that this verse crystallizes the song's central seduction, the transformation of temptation into opportunity, where the cost is obscured by charisma, and the act of signing away oneself feels like surrender, or less like surrender and more like destiny. Okay, so let's keep this going. But you know what, gotta be honest, this is probably one of my favorite REN features songs. Simply because, well, actually, no. How to Be Me and Chalk Outlines were by far my favorites. If you haven't seen that, links will be in the description as well as my REN playlist. That being my reaction playlist. But okay, let's keep it going.
I don't think you fully understand, but I promise that you will in time, so just make a choice.
Yes, you're singing again.
At the crossroads of time, took hold of his paper, and I leant down to sign.
Is it a metaphor for the music industry? Or is it about mental health? Could be both, actually. So, honestly, interpretation seems fairly open.
I still remember back where I was from. See, I was the favorite.
He's Lucifer.
The morning sun.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
See, I had
I'm locked in now, I get it.
but they said they're too grand.
Okay.
So they casted me out without reason to doubt. Now there's blood on my hands. See, I've been that one with the silver tongue. Yeah, they say I'm falling, but never run, following the calling.
Chris Webby got bars.
With the barrel of a loaded gun aimed at the masses, at their masses. Yeah, the darkness gon' get you. You can say a prayer if it helps you. That cross won't protect you from the light, bringing lost angel. Shit, I only came to entertain
definitely
you.
Lucifer,
Since we made
Satan.
ourselves a deal, you gon' be my fucking puppet till it breaks you. I'ma chain you to the ground. I'll enslave you. Look around. Ain't nobody coming here to save you. I'ma take you way down. Cause yeah, I know I've been around. but still I got some shit to prove.
Oh, so,
and I don't
so
really give
good.
a fuck how it's gotta happen, but just know that you gotta fucking deal with the devil written. So shut up and listen to play me some blues, and just know the choice that you made today will be the last thing that you ever choose.
Okay, that's a big tip. Now I know which way the song is leaning in terms of interpretive analysis. Ooh, this is getting me excited. I love the lyrics because now here the tragedy reaches its inexorable crescendo. Ren, paralyzed at that liminal threshold, the crossroads, not merely of place, but of identity, of time, of soul, succumbs not with defiance, but with a dreadful stillness, as though destiny itself has placed the pen within his grasp. The act of signing becomes almost liturgical, a dark sacrament, and from that moment, the veil is torn as Chris Webby sheds the final vestiges of charm to reveal something far more infernal. A fallen type of evangelist of ambition whose origin story drips with rejection and wounded grandeur, transmuted now into ruthless dominion, where artistry is weaponized, the audience becomes collateral, and the artist himself is reduced to a marionette bound in invisible chains. The language grows coarse, brutal, unvarnished, no longer the silken persuasion of a salesman, but the snarling decree of ownership. Notice the words that I used: puppet, enslave, chain. Each word is like a hammer blow that shatters any lingering illusion of mutual benefit, revealing instead a pact that shapes, or rather that strips, agency entirely, leaving behind only performance, obedience, and the slow erosion of self beneath the weight of expectation and control. And yet, folks, for me, what lends this passage its almost Shakespearean gravitas is its grotesque inversion of aspiration, the promise of greatness, of honorific abilitude in etatibus itself, which means that grandiose pursuit of honor and distinction. Now it's just revealed as hollow crowns forged in suffering. Whether we read this as a psyche surrender to its darkest compulsions or as a searing indictment of industry that devours its brightest voices, the outcome is still the same. The moment the signature dries, choice itself is extinguished, and the road ahead, once filled with possibilities, narrows into a single merciless descent from which there is no return. Okay, so I know some of you may be wondering, I didn't realize it at the time when I was saying it, but that word that I used, honorific abilitude in etatibus, that was a word I used with Liam in conversation, as one does. And he bet me $50 that I couldn't use that word in one of my videos. So, Liam, pay up. Hashtag pay the wordsmith in the comment section. Okay, cool. Let's see where we head from here. This, honestly, I'm going to play the song and repeat it. It's so good. It kind of reminds me of an Eminem song. I can't really remember what the name of it is. But yeah, this is so good.
Know the choice that you made today will be the last thing that you ever choose.
Oh, guitar solo. This is probably REN, right? Yeah, it's REN. Great bends. Ooh. The production of this music video, or lyric video, is so great. Who did this? I honestly didn't think REN could get better, because how can you improve upon perfection? Yeah. Oh, I love that BGV background vocalist. Okay, so it says Down the Road, but the song's called Inpatient. So am I missing something? What is this about? Okay. Honestly, excellent 10 out of 10 song. It's what I expect from REN, but that exceeded expectations by quite a distance. Oh, that guitar solo was banger. Essentially for me, that guitar solo was Catharsis made audible. It was electrifying, which I too suspect to be the handiwork of REN, and it erupts not merely as ornamentation, but as emotional exorcism. The instrument seems to speak, to wail and writhe with a kind of articulate anguish, bending notes as though they were thoughts too painful to hold in fixed form. It's phrasing, oscillating between defiance and despair, like a voice straining against invisible shackles. This is not virtuosity for its own sake, but narrative continuation. The psyche screaming where words have long since failed, the final resistance of a soul that realizes, perhaps too late, the cost of its own acquiescence. And in its totality, Inpatient stands as a haunting elegy for agency itself. It's a darkly poetic descent into the moment where ambition, pain, and temptation converge, revealing that the most perilous bargains are not those forced upon us, but those we choose, in quiet moments of vulnerability to sign, unaware that in seeking to become something greater, we may irrevocably surrender the very essence of who we are. So good. Okay, that worked my brain a lot. And so we arrive at the quiet denouement of our journey through Inpatient. So folks, if this exploration has offered you even a modicum of insight, or perhaps simply a moment of resonance, do let your voice join the chorus in the comments below. Your reflections, as ever, are the lifeblood of this community, and they help out with the algorithm. A gentle reminder too, should you wish to see this channel flourish and continue its pursuit of musical truth and poetic clarity, a share, your subscription would be most graciously received. And for those inclined to go a step further, you'll find ways to support this endeavor like Patreon, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, Super Thanks, becoming a channel member, all of the links in the description as well. And you can follow me on social media. I have Facebook, Instagram, those links on the description below. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, do be kind, do be gentle, do be respectful to one another, and help each other out when you can. And I'll see you lot in the next video. Take care. Cheers.